For centuries, yokai have spread fear and chaos in Japan, pranking unfortunate foes at best, killing scores of innocent people at worst. But even among the plethora of savage yokai, 3 have emerged as particularly dangerous, and the impact of their presence was such that their very existence altered the course of Japanese history. These 3 are known as the Nihon Sandai Aku Yokai, the 3 most evil yokai of Japan. First among them stands Shuten Doji, the Oni king of Mount Oe. Oni are a class of monsters akin to demons and ogres, known for their brutish strength, evil manners, and a penchant for human flesh and blood. Some of them have left their mark in the Japanese folklore, but none as deeply as Shuten Doji. Legends differ on his origins. Some claim he was the offspring of Yamata no Orochi, the Great Serpent, while others say he was born human, but so unnaturally strong and intelligent that people feared him as an Oni child. Cast out by his mother at the age of 6, he found sanctuary at a temple of Mount Hiei, only to be ostracized for his arrogance and cruelty. As a teenager, he turned to drinking, earning the nickname Shuten Doji, Little Drunkard. But his resentment festered into something far darker. He abandoned the monastic life and became a bandit, gathering outcasts and criminals under his command. Over time, they transformed into true Oni, ruling from Mount Oe and terrorizing the capital. Soon, young women began disappearing from Kyoto at an alarming rate. When whispers of Shuten Doji's lair reached the emperor's ears, he dispatched his famed warrior, Minamoto no Raiko, and his men to deal with the threat. Raiko received a sacred helmet and a cask of poisoned sake from the hands of benevolent deities to aid his mission. Disguised as monks, he and his warriors infiltrated Shuten Doji's palace, earning the Oni king's trust by feasting on human flesh and drinking alongside him. When the time was right, they offered the poisoned sake, lulling the Oni into a drunken stupor. The warriors struck in the dead of the night, slaughtering the minions before confronting Shuten Doji himself. Even as Raiko severed his head, the Oni king's power remained so great that his decapitated head lunged forward and tried to bite its killer. If not for his divine helmet, Raiko would have perished on that day. With the Oni king vanquished, the people of Kyoto rejoiced, and Raiko became something of a specialist yokai hunter. Sutoku Teno, the vengeful emperor. Born into imperial intrigue, Sutoku was the eldest son of Emperor Toba, though many believed him to be the child of the powerful retired Emperor Shirakawa. At the age of 3, he was placed on the chrysanthemum throne to act as a figurehead, while true power remained in the hands of his predecessors. When Shirakawa passed, Emperor Toba, perhaps resentful that his bastard son claimed any sort of power, invited Sutoku to join him in retirement and placed one of his brothers on the throne. Emperor Konoe thus became the new emperor, but when he died without an heir at 17, Sutoku assumed the throne would naturally pass to his son, but once again Toba denied him and maneuvered for another of his sons, the then Emperor Go Shirakawa, to take over. Toba died soon after, and a bitter war ensued between Sutoku and Go Shirakawa's factions. Sutoku lost. Branded a traitor, he was exiled to Shikoku, where he spent the rest of his days in isolation, copying sacred sutras in a desperate attempt to redeem himself. But when he sent those sutras to Kyoto, the court, fearing they carried curses, refused them. His manuscripts were cast aside. His death, 8 years into his banishment, went unacknowledged. Go Shirakawa refused funeral rites for his older brother and for the people to mourn Sutoku. Thus was born a spirit of unparalleled wrath, the Onryo, Sutoku Teno. In the years that followed, disasters struck Kyoto. Plagues, storms, a great fire that ravaged a third of the city, and high-ranking officials died one after another. People began seeing Sutoku's vengeance in those events. His fury shattered the imperial court's power, brought an end to the Heian period, and paved the way for the samurai class to rise and take control. By the time Emperor Meiji restored imperial rule in 1868, after 7 centuries of shogunal power, Sutoku's spirit was still so feared that he was officially welcomed back and enshrined in Kyoto to appease his wrath. But Sutoku Teno alone might not have been able to bring about the fall of the Heian period. Another force, older and far more cunning, played a role in Japan's greatest political collapse. and this was not her first time working evil schemes to topple an empire. Tamamo no Mae, the deceptive nine-tailed fox. Tamamo no Mae is but the last name of an evil femme fatale kyubi or nine-tailed fox whose origins might go back to the Shang dynasty in China. There, we find her as the concubine of King Zhou, a ruler who seemed to have been doing fine until he met this stunning and brilliant woman and fell deeply in love with her. Nothing was too good for Daji, whose favorite pleasures included pools of wine, lewd dances, and watching people being tortured. King Zhou quickly lost interest in the matters of government, and both his realm and his reputation descended into chaos. His behavior was all the excuse needed by the army of the Zhou dynasty to invade Shang and dismantle it. Daji escaped execution and repeated her deeds in India, then again in China, each time escaping death at the last moment. Then she shifted her gaze towards Japan, where, as Tamamo no Mae, she found her way into the court of Emperor Toba, who she seduced with her beauty and her wits. From the moment she became his consort, Toba fell ill. Neither remedies nor prayers seemed to help the emperor, but when all hope seemed lost, the great Onmyoji, Abe no Yasunari, divined the truth of the matter. The emperor's life force was being drained by his consort, who was in fact a nine-tailed fox. Tamamo no Mae was tricked into participating into a ritual that revealed her true nature. She fled once more before suffering the wrath of the emperor. A few years later, she was found to live in Nasu. The emperor sent an army under the command of Miura no Suke to destroy her once and for all. But even after they slayed the nine-tailed fox, its spirit found a stone to haunt. Since then, the stone, known as Seishoseki, or killing stone, is cursed and releases poisonous fumes that kill anyone who touches it. And if this was not bad enough, upon her death, both Toba and his successor, Emperor Konoe, died within a matter of months, thus triggering a war of succession that would eventually lead to the end of the Heian period. And if you believe us free from Tamamo no Mae's rage, think again. In March of 2022, the stone, no longer capable of harnessing the spirit of the Kyubi, split in two. One can only guess what Tamamo no Mae is scheming after more than 9 centuries trapped into a stone. Shuten Doji, the Oni King, Sutoku Teno, the vengeful emperor, Tamamo no Mae, the cursed fox, together they changed Japan's history forever, leaving behind legacies of terror, betrayal and destruction, and who knows, perhaps as the story of the yokai continues to unfold, a fourth name will one day be added to this infamous list. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments which of these yokai fascinated you the most, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on Japanese mythology. Also, be sure to check out my upcoming novel, BloodoftheKami, a young adult Shinto adventure filled with wacky yokai and Japanese folklore.